Hello learners, let's move ahead with the level 2. Learn how to introduce yourself to others. In this lesson, we will be learning, first of all, we will be revising the pronoun, gender of nouns, possessive pronouns, and in the end, interrogatives. Let's do a quick revision of the pronouns and their ending words before we start with the concept of this level. Hindi pronoun, column 2 Hindi ending verb and then English meaning. मैं complimenting हूँ, I am, हम हैं, we are, तुम हो, you are, आप हैं, you are, वह है, he is, वह है, she is, वे हैं, they are. The next topic and the first topic of level 2 is gender of nouns. See, now we have switched from pronouns. We have already done pronouns. Now we are coming into the core grammatical concept, which is nouns. So, gender of nouns. Hindi has two genders, as I had already mentioned in the level 1 with a hint about it. Hindi has two genders and they apply to all objects and living things. A noun's gender is an important part of Hindi since verb conjugations and sentence formations depend on it. The gender of living things can be apparent. We can figure it out based on context, example, man, woman, male dog, female cat, and so on. The gender of things, objects is not straightforward. There are some rules, but they are not comprehensive. One can only remember them by hearing Hindi conversations, speaking practice, and memorizations. So, unlike English, we have different set of rules, and sometimes those rules are not always applicable to those living things or objects. Here are some rules, even though we have made linguists or the language specialist people have made some rules that might be helpful for a language learner. First, by form, decide by using the last letter of the word. A noun which ends with a is masculine. A noun which ends with e is feminine singular. Please take care of the second point. It mentions not the entire feminine category or the feminine gender, just feminine singular. However, we will see that in some cases, for feminine plural as well, there will be the E sound. Masculine singular meaning followed by feminine singular and then the meaning. Kamra, which means room. Kapda, cloth. Ghanta, bell. Feminine singular, गाड़ी, vehicle, घड़ी, watch, topi, it is cap or hat. Now, what are the exceptions? These words which end in e are masculine. Ghee, clarified butter, dahi, curd or yogurt, pani, water, moti, pearl. Now, what is the exception explaining us? That even if we are having the E sound in all of these examples, even then they are masculine and not feminine. Why? Because in the rule above we just learned that the sound R represents masculine and the E sound represents feminine. However, in these words or in these lexicons, there is E sound, even then they are considered masculine. By quantities that the noun possesses. Sometimes the gender is decided by some quantities that the noun possesses. These qualities are arbitrary and have been in the language since a long time now. Bhasha is considered feminine because it is learned from our mother tongue. So, the next point is pahad, which is a mountain. Samudra, sea, akash, sky are considered as masculine because of their massive nature. These justifications are not taken literally in modern times, but these are assumed genders that the world has stuck to them. So, what do I mean is these words or any word for that matter is arbitrary in nature. The mountain did not itself say to call itself Pahar, or in English as well. How did human went on to decide that something should be called a mountain or something should be called a sea? It was just arbitrary. Whatever came to the mind, we went on naming it, and then went on to explaining them with the specified meanings that the people at that time or this time have in their minds. So names, any name is arbitrary. Bhasha is considered feminine because it arises from whom? Mother. So therefore it is considered feminine. Third, common gender. The tendency of modern practitioners of Hindi is to use nouns in common gender terms. Mantri can be used for both male and female. Pradhan Mantri, which is common again, it is used for both a male prime minister as well and a female prime minister as well. Collectives. While addressing a collective, the gender is arbitrary and one has to memorize them to get them right. Jhund, which is crowd, it is a masculine gender. Kutum, family, masculine. Dal, dal, party, masculine. Sena, Forge. Sena or Forge, they mean army, which are feminine in nature. Now, one might say that mostly, even in the earlier of the earliest times, the Sena or the Forge might have never had the females. Then why is it feminine? Again, we have to apply the concept of arbitrariness, that the names themselves are arbitrary in nature. There were no set of rules tending to which we can say that something has to be feminine or masculine. Language is arbitrary. Sabha, council or meeting, again feminine nature. A quick recap: Kamra, which is a room, is masculine. Gadi, vehicle, feminine. Ghanta, a bell, masculine. Ghadi, feminine. Bhasha, feminine. Pahad, masculine. Akash, masculine. Jhund, which is a crowd, masculine. Kutum, masculine. Dal, masculine. Sena or Fauj, feminine. Sabha, feminine. Sarkar, feminine. Mantri or politician in English is neutral gender.